Hello people, Ujumpo is back again. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Ujumpo Unravels. In today's episode, we're going to talk about self-love. I know it's something that is typical. We all have heard it from different people, different ways. It means different things to different people, I assume. Today, I'm going to bring my own opinion as to what self-love is. So stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Today we are talking about self-love, and I'm bringing my own idea, opinion, perception as to what self-love is. So for me, self-love is knowing how flawed you are, knowing your weaknesses, your triggers, but you love yourself regardless. And when I say loving yourself, you love yourself with your full chest. I know people will say, but it's me now, I love me. Not necessarily. Self-love really is knowing that you are not that perfect. Knowing that you're not as good as maybe people might think you are. Knowing that you're not that kind as maybe you want to be, hence you portray. Knowing that your weaknesses could sometimes overshadow your strengths. Knowing your triggers. Knowing that you could be a very jealous person. You're not necessarily happy for people. Knowing you could be envious. Knowing that you have anger issues, knowing that you are really very lazy, knowing you're a dirty person, whatever it is. But even with these informations, you still love yourself hard. You still love yourself regardless. Now, at some point in my life, I never practiced this self-love thing. I used to hear that and I'm like, I beg people today, they're waiting to be self-love. I love myself now. Why wouldn't I love myself? But I didn't know I didn't. Yes, I could argue that I always wanted to know more. I was always very intrigued with deep conversations. I always want to go online, learn things that I don't know. Very anxious to finding the why behind everything. I won't just go with the crowd. Okay, they say that this is. I want to know why. Whatever I'm doing, I try to do it as good as I can and even try to push myself a little bit harder. You know, when it was time to go to school, I went to school. I came out with very good grades. When it was time to get a job, I got a job and I was good. I wasn't easily dispensable at any office I'd ever worked in. And when it was time to do my master's, I mean, what I'm trying to say is I actually gave myself all the necessary tools that would, of course, make me seem like I love myself. You know what I mean? I was always maybe a little bit more conscious with my weaknesses. Yeah, maybe it would take me a minute to kind of work on them or tame them, but at least I was aware. I didn't really mask it or lie to myself or try to defend. I've always been very conscious of my weight. I've always loved myself with the things I did. But I didn't really practice self-love intentionally, and I really didn't understand what it meant until at some point in my life when I hit my rock bottom. It looked as if life was slapping me. You know what I mean? It looked as if every plan I had was actually being thwarted. Like nothing was working. It was my worst moment ever. And I reached my bottom, and I knew is either I remained there and be sorry for myself, or I try to pick myself up. So in the process of wanting to pick myself up, I realized that I needed to first of all love myself. And the reason that hit me that much was I was living in self-hate and regret and blame. I was blaming myself for all the wrong decisions and every decision that I made that got me to that dark place I was in. And I wasn't going to actually come out of that dark place if I didn't begin to practice self-love. Meaning, yes, Uju, you fucked up. Uju, you messed up. Uju, your decisions were bad. It's okay. Don't think you're as perfect as you've always wanted to portray yourself. Because people feel, oh, you are smart, you've got it together, and you feel you don't got it together anymore and you hate yourself. Guess what? Life is so hard, and you got to that your rock bottom, and it's okay. It doesn't mean you're still not that Uju because you made a mistake or that you got to that place. What matters is you acknowledging it. So I started trying to understand me because I didn't even know me. You know what I mean? Before then, prior to my rock bottom phase, if you ask me what I wanted, I would say what made sense or what I think should make sense, not necessarily what I wanted. I don't know if I'm making sense, right? What I wanted, what I think you would hear and say, oh, she's calculated, she got it together. Oh, she has a projection for her life. I would say that thing that I want you to hear. And I didn't think it was okay for me to say what I wanted, whether you weren't okay with hearing it or not. And even if what I wanted wasn't the best thing, at least let me acknowledge that that is what I wanted. And I would ask myself why I wanted that. So in asking myself that, I could be able to decipher why maybe that would not work now, or maybe that had worked before, but it's not applicable now, but it might be applicable tomorrow. I didn't want people to see me like I was flawed. Neither did I want people to see me like I don't know what I'm doing. So I would actually respond in line with what I think you would want to hear. So when I hit my rock bottom, I realized that I needed to be me for me, understand my weakness for me, love myself even in the process of telling myself the truth. And I began this prayer that I will probably advise you to do. I started praying, and I'm still praying till today. I prayed this prayer for like 5 or 6 years, and I'm still praying it. And every day it gives me more clarity to who I am and the path I should go in life. And the prayer is, God, show me the lies I tell myself. Every day I pray that prayer, because when I started praying this prayer, I realized that I didn't even know me. To be honest, guys, I didn't know me. If I were to write an essay about myself, I would fail woefully. I didn't even know me. So God kind of started opening up to me, my weaknesses, my strength, and I became very vulnerable. I was open-minded to receiving them. I wasn't trying to mask them or shield them. Yeah, I would do it privately in the comfort of my room or whatever, but I would allow myself feel those emotions and feel disappointed with myself that, now wow, Uju, so this is how dirty you are, you know what I mean? Or this is how dark you are, or this is how broken you are, or whatever. I would allow myself feel that. And then from after feeling that comes the next phase. What do I do? How do I work on this? How do I know what triggers these weaknesses, hence me lashing out, or me being this person, or me doing this thing? And that level of being intentional has made me more loving with me, for me. You know what I mean? And funny enough, when you begin this practice of self-love, it does not only make you love you, it even makes people around you love you more. Because the truth is that people, you know, like I always say, I always like repeating this, we are energies and people can feel your vibe. So when you're being you for you, again, remember, you're trying to develop. For you to be in this journey of self-love, it means you're intentionally and consistently trying to be a better person. So you're working towards the positive light generally. So when you're doing that, even though you're not paying attention to what the next person is thinking or whatever, you're just doing it for you, it attracts people. Let me even tell you a short story. So I moved to Germany. I lived in Germany for like 5.5 years, finished my master's, started working. And while I was working, I didn't know how to speak German at that time. And of course, I'm Black, clearly. And some clients would come into the office and they would see me, they would be shocked, and they would navigate towards my colleagues that are, of course, white. Or they would look startled that, oh my God, Black person. So I could feel that vibe, I could feel that energy, even though, of course, they will mask it. Trust white people, especially Germans, they are not obviously racist. My experience, right? Nobody clearly showed me that, oh, I don't like you because you're Black. I didn't see that. So they would always carry themselves better, but I could still feel that energy. I could still feel that vibe. And I would always sulk. I would sulk so much. I was so depressed. I wasn't looking forward to going to work. I thought people hate me so much. I wanted to move back home and all that. Then when I began to be conscious with this thing called self-love, I became very positive with whatever. So as against feeling sorry for myself that someone doesn't like me maybe, I would feel more empathy for them. And I would be like, oh my God, if only they knew who Uju is, they would love me too. So with that response, even if they come in and their physical reaction is, oh my God, Black girl, I don't want to talk to a Black girl. And I'm so warm towards them by saying, hello, wie kann ich dir helfen? you could see they would warm up in split second. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker or something. I'm telling you my story. Just because my response is different. Before, I would have been, wie kann ich Ihnen helfen? With attitude. And the person would be like, oh, nicht, sorry. But now I will say the same thing. Wie kann ich Ihnen helfen? You know, the joy, you know, the warmth, the peace. I mean, sometimes I will do that and the person will still go. That's fine. It doesn't dampen my spirits though. It doesn't change that I'm happy. It doesn't change that I don't care. But for some that wouldn't ordinarily come to me, it would change the way they would react and respond. And you see, I will attract a lot of them that even when I wanted to leave, a lot of my clients missed me. They're like, even on our reviews on websites, people were now commenting, that black girl is so warm, I like her. Anytime I don't come to work, I'm on leave. You will see people will be asking after me. My colleagues will call me, would you come back? Or it's like, it's you, they want, you know, just because I changed something from inside. I changed from just being a regular person without direction or without insight to someone that was more conscious. Someone that, regardless of the fact that I know I am not perfect and I'm not near perfect and I would never be perfect. And that's another problem. Some of us think we can't be perfect. So we're too hard on ourselves. We're trying to do, you cannot be perfect. Just know that you cannot, but you could try to be better daily. Try. That's all you need to do. And even when you try and fail, get up and try again. Don't beat yourself up too much because you tried and you failed. And like what I used to do with my weight loss in those days. I would try to diet and I'll do all these drastic weight loss diets, and then I'll lose a couple of pounds, and then I go for a party, I eat again, I gain weight. I'm like, okay, since I've gained weight, let's start eating. That's not the way you should go about self-love or life in general. Sometimes life will throw a lot of shit at you, and it's normal. And you stay down for a minute, is okay. But please don't stay down forever. Bounce back, love yourself through the process, and go back again. So for me, that's my definition of self-love, guys. That's all I have for today. Self-love is when you know you're flawed, you know you're not as perfect as you portray, or as perfect as people see you, or as perfect as you would want to deceive people to believing you are, yet you love yourself. Regardless, you love yourself hard, like you love yourself hard. And in that space of loving yourself regardless comes clarity, comes direction, comes self-awareness, comes level of vulnerability and honesty that you exchange within yourself. And then from there comes personal development, being intentional, being positive, being happier, bouncing back from anything. And then seeing where that leads you. Okay, so till next time, guys, please subscribe. Biko ejo mabinu. Subscribe, click the notification button so that you could always get, you know, alerted anytime we post. Share, especially if you have anybody around you that you feel is in a very negative space. The world is even negative right now. You could probably share this video, comment, tell me what you think self-love is. If your own opinion or definition is different, kindly share. I would also want to learn. Remember, we are learning together. We are learning, we are learning, we are relearning, you know. So tell me what your own opinion of self-love is. Comment. And till next time, guys, remember, the best is yet to come. Hang in there. Please don't give up. Till next time, I love you. Bye-bye.